of the demo, I'm going to choose a free trial from OpenxAI. And then the third option is the tokenization. So this is where we leverage Base. So we are privileged to work with Base team. We've been building for the last maybe 8 months, 9 months. So this part is where you apply the on-chain layer. So here you have multiple options. So if you want to sell your entire AI as an NFT, so for example, let's say Sam is a builder. He built, let's say, a chatbot, and it's trained for, let's say, Dubai real estate as an example, and he's running and operating. And he decided to sell the whole business or the whole chatbot to another person. So what he can do, he can actually sell the whole thing as an NFT, which is a really, really powerful. Or if Sam wants to build, let's say, more customized versions. So when I say customized versions, so people who are using the app, they'd have to be paying. So he can use whether he can create a free or paid version. So instead of having a bank account, he can use a wallet. He can use one wallet, multiple wallets if he wants to. So which means Sam doesn't need to have a bank account. And then for protecting your intellectual property, he can use cryptography, he can use smart contracts, he can leverage Ethereum security because Base use Ethereum security. Instead of having a company, you can have smart contracts. I think that's the evolution and that's the future. So I'm going to skip the tokenization part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit build. So what's happening now, it's going to locate a GPU. And it's a bare metal GPU. What that means is like when you imagine you buy a computer from a store, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have operating system. It doesn't have anything. So what's happening now, you provision a server for you attached to your wallet and start installing from all the way from operating system to then it's going to install AI infrastructure, AI, any dependencies is needed, everything autonomously. Not only that, since I choose to build a front end along with my AI service, it's also going to build a front end for you. So after this deployment, I can show you, it's going to showcase your entire stack and you can see all the services and up and running. So this is going to take like 2 minutes. I will show you a few other slides. So in terms of our breakthroughs and innovation, so there are a couple of things we enable. So the first and most important thing is we are making AI borderless. That's a very important part. Here's an example in terms of our benchmarks. If you're building, let's say, an AI service on a centralized cloud, there are a lot of limitations. So for us, it's a permissionless aspect is very important. And then when it's come to energy and energy usage, since we are using or utilizing unused compute from around the world, it's actually more energy efficient and also green energy. The other thing is about the price optimization or cost optimization. As you can see, we are optimized up to like 92% energy and cost optimization. When it's come to like, this is a benchmark that we did running DeepSeek. So running DeepSeek for 12 months. If you look at it, the OpenxAI is right here, and the other providers are quite expensive. And then another key aspect when it's come to privacy, AI privacy is a really important topic today. AI privacy, it's basically people don't even want to even talk about. In our case, since your control of the entire infrastructure attached to your wallet, unless you lose your private key, nobody can access your infrastructure, which is really, really cool. So let me go to the deployment. It's still deploying. So what it does now, if there are any smart contracts or anything that require a building, it's going to build a smart contract for you. So here you've got all the settings that you choose. Anything that you enter in the front end, in the back end, you can see what are the things that have basically deployed. So now you have the app. So the cool thing here, this URL is generated just for you. You can go and buy a GoDaddy domain, and you can update that domain to you. You can say, let's say, realestatechatgpt.ae or whatever. You can buy Ethereum domain. You can make it even decentralized. Now, what I've done, I've basically built my own chatbot on a server that I control, and I have my business model all built into the system. Then what I can do, I can go and change all the look and feel, the colors and themes and etc. So this is very powerful. I think a lot of people will realize utilize this power, because the reason why I'm excited, if you look at like how technology is kind of adopting in different regions, like how internet people went from like dial-up to let's say fiber connectivity to 5G. If you look at like developing countries, they went from no dial-up and no fiber, they went straight to 5G. So I think that's the evolution, and also that's the innovation. So we're going to expect a lot of people utilizing our network, building AI services, and launch it under 5 minutes. So in other words, we are kind of bringing the AI as a technology, as innovation to everybody. So I'm going to now hand over to Sam. He can do a live demo. What we have today, what you saw, is called a version 4. This is a version 4 platform. This is called the version 4. What we are launching towards the end of the month is version 5. Version 5 has specific chain agnostic landing pages. So this is what it look like. If you select a base, if you click base chain, it's gonna open up your base native page. So from here, you can access specific base related applications. So one of the application that we build is called the Base Mini App Builder. So which is, I think, is really cool, because like if you think about base as a network and base app as a super app, the way I see base app like a WeChat of Web3. So you can do not just a wallet, not the e-commerce, you can do a lot of other things. So for us, it's very exciting to see a greater distribution. So the way we see of how integrate ourselves with base and base app, so you can go and build a base mini apps like a chatbot. So he's going to show you how it works. But the idea here, base app itself, it's like an iPhone or Android Play Store kind of a period. If you want to build a base mini apps, it's a little bit technical. So what we build an app. You can actually deploy your apps by simply chatting. So I'm going to hand over to Sam now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Base Mini App Factory premiere. So I'm very excited today to show you what we have built. As Ashton mentioned before, currently what we're launching today is the beta version, which means you can expect technical difficulties. I hope you all will try it out and give us any feedback in case you do have any issues. Furthermore, in the true spirit of the mini apps, the Base Mini App Factory itself is also a mini app, which is why today I will be showcasing the demo from within my base app. So the first step for us to do here is to enter the mini app factory, which means we can just search in the base app, mini app factory. And then we'll see it as the only app currently. So here the first step is to enter the factory, and then you can have multiple projects. So let's create a new one, which in this case I will be creating a blockchain quiz. Then once you've picked your project name, it will automatically assign a domain for you, which in this case is your domain name, your project name with the miniappfactory.marketplace.openxai.network. And what we can do here is we can instruct the AI what our app should look like. So in this case, create a mini app quiz that asks 5 questions to determine the blockchain that aligns best with the user interests and allows them to share the result to their feed. And then we'll just send it to the AI to handle the rest. What you're going to see here now is the live output of what the AI is thinking. And we'll see our instruction here with the time and the current phase, which means programming. For the LLM, there's multiple phases. So I believe most of you are aware of agentic workloads. But if not, the first step will basically be for the first AI agent to decide what should be built. Then you have a second agent which determines which files should be edited. A third agent which gives access to the current files to determine how they should be edited. Then you have a fourth agent which actually writes what the new content of these files should be. And then finally you have the testing phase, which means that the agent will check if the current app is correct or if there's any bugs. And in case there are bugs, then it goes back to the workflow where it asks the other agents to make iterations until these issues are fixed. And finally, what it will do is it will create a commit to GitHub. All of these code is stored on GitHub, which means that you have no platform lock-in whatsoever to us. You can take this GitHub project and host it anywhere you would like. And you can also take the code from here and reiterate it with another AI builder or with any programmers you know or yourself. So what we can see here is all of the files that are edited. And finally, that it created a commit with a description of whatever was your instructions, or at least what it understood from your instructions. A full disclaimer here is that we are working with LLM-generated code. So whatever it just created, I won't know until you guys will also see it. Currently, we're waiting for the tests to run. And after these tests are completed successfully, it will commit this push to GitHub, which in this case, you will see that it did find an error. So at the bottom, it will now attempt to fix these errors. After which, we'll see that the code will be committed to GitHub. The main differentiator from our let's say LLM builder for apps compared to other platforms is that we allow you to actually own this app. So both all authentication is done with your wallet, as well as we allow it to link to your Farcaster and base build accounts, which means you can utilize their monetization or rewards programs to actually gain revenue from your app and see the statistics linked to your account. So it will take 5 minutes if it doesn't find any errors. In this case, it depends how long it's going to fix it. In the meanwhile, I can't show you any of the other apps I created. So for example, I created a quiz with the L2s. And there you can see here the same concept, but for Ethereum layer 2s. which in this case didn't have an error. We can check if there's any progress on our blockchain quiz. For now, the first step will be that it creates the GitHub repository, which we can see, but it only creates the code iteration once it's finished. I can show you what that looks like on this other app. So we'll go back to the mini app factory.
So imagine you, instead of writing the code, the agent is writing the code on behalf of you. I'm going to push the code directly into your GitHub account, which other chatbot app building platforms won't allow you to do that because they control kind of the SaaS platform. In our case, the entire code and the app and the infrastructure, everything owned by the end user. So you have a 100% ownership. And these apps also can be like NFTs, which you can build and you can trade, you can share ownership, which we think is really cool.
So now we see that it, based on the errors, made some edits to the code. So it will output here all of the code it has written, which in this case you can see the blockchains it decided to compare is Ethereum, Solana, Polkadot, and Cardano. And based on these, it has created questions from its understanding what differentiates these blockchains. If I show you what the GitHub changes look like is, for example, in this layer 2 quiz. Oh. In this layer 2 quiz, I can check this on GitHub, which is the app I created just before this event started. You can see here it will create this message of the summary of your request with all of the code changes that it applied. And you can see the commit is made by the mini app factory with combination with this LLM chatbot. So let's check if our errors are now fixed. It seems like the internet is a bit struggling.
The one cool thing about Base ecosystem, especially Base mini apps, since Base has native payments and also wallet, also the mini apps, all in one place. What we are seeing is kind of like a really, really tightly integrated system or ecosystem. If you guys are familiar with WeChat, WeChat is not just a chatting platform. You can book someone to come to your house, look after your pets. You can pay your hospital bills. It's like a super app. So we see is kind of the same kind of a evolution in the Base ecosystem, especially the Base app itself. So these kind of tools allow you to build things like whatever imagination you have, just type it and test it. So it's like a rapid deployment of apps. And the other cool thing is, since you have access to all the user base in Base, I think Base has probably a couple of million users, and you can broadcast that using Farcaster. So Farcaster kind of an on-chain version of like a Twitter, so or X. So once your app is built, you can broadcast that directly into Farcaster. So it's not just the building the tech, but also being fun way to share to the world. Hey, I built the app. Just take a look at my app. So whoever's looking at the stream, they basically can click on it and then it comes to the app itself. So it's like a discoverability, utility, all built into the same platform, which is really cool.
In this case, I will show the layer 2 app I made. So View Mini App will open the same app into your Base app, so you won't have to leave the app. And here it's going to ask you a few questions about what is important to you. So let's, for example, take the first option everywhere. And then we'll check which L2 matches me the best, which in this case is determined is Arbitrum, and gives a summary about what Arbitrum is about, with a share button to directly broadcast this into my network on Base, or in this case, what they're using is a decentralized Farcaster network. Then I will show you the cool part, which is where you can actually link this app to your Farcaster account and your Base build program. So currently, the Base app itself, the super app with the social integration, is in beta, which means not everyone has access to this yet, and also some of the functionality is still being worked on. So one of the things we will have to do here is to link this to our Farcaster account. We cannot do directly from the Base app, but we can do it from the Farcaster app. So this blockchain quiz app I just made, I can go into copy the domain, go for Farcaster, and in this case, in the Farcaster app, I can generate a signature to claim this app. So if I go to domains, I can copy my domain into here and generate the domain manifest, which I can copy into this field, and it will link my account. It's required to have this linking to proceed with the base build link. So for the base build link, you can go into base.dev, and here you can own your apps. In this case, I will add a new mini app, and it requires me to add this address as an allowed link. So I will type it here and link. Now we can check if everything went correctly. So in the Farcaster app, we can verify that indeed we have claimed this. Oh, what is this? We have claimed this app. So we copy our domain, paste it in here, and then we check the domain status, which in this case is successfully verified. And similar to the Base app, we can enter our domain in here and import, and the app added successfully. So now you can use all of the awesome Base functionality, such as gasless payments, getting featured on the Base app, which so far none of the other platforms support, as well as all of this being linked to your account. So with your crypto wallet, you're the only one that is able to make changes to this app. And similarly, we are using the OpenxAI network for deployments, as well as, for example, can be extended in the future for monetization. So you can sell your app, you can monetize your app using OpenxAI technologies.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
So now we're going to have a quick kind of I wouldn't call it panel because she has to go quickly. So Asal, she is the head of Base Middle East. So we're going to sit down and tell her about what Base is doing in Middle East, especially in Dubai region. Please welcome. Yes, we're going to have. We'll let her go, and then we can have plenty of questions because she has to leave at 4:30, unfortunately.
Thank you. Is this on? Yeah. Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. Nice to meet you all. And thank you for having me. So should I start or?
Yep, go ahead, please. Introduce
Amazing.
yourself. And
Yeah, sure. So I'm Asal. I guess I see a lot of familiar faces, and I'm so happy that this time I'm representing Base. I've been leading Base in MENA region for the last 3 months almost. And we are expanding all over from Morocco to Pakistan. So we are covering a really wide range at the moment with Base MENA. I think we should call it Base MENAP. But anyways, and so what we are doing is, as Ashton already mentioned, and OpenxAI is very much a really good example of it, is more than just having a blockchain. We are now spreading a culture. We are spreading a full ecosystem consisting of many different parties. So the difference of Base with many different blockchain ecosystems out there is that Base at the moment is way more than just the chain. we have base chain, we have base app, we have many different components, including base pay, and all together, they are going to build an ecosystem with a vision of reaching to being a network state. I don't know how many of you are familiar with network state. Can I ask how many of you know about network state? Okay, that's really impressive. Okay, so at Base, actually one of the reasons why I joined Base was this vision. I didn't want to be just another person representing another T-shirt that will be pegged to a token that will go up and will go down and will die. And I mean, I'm talking about the stereotype. That look in your eyes was like a bit scary. But yeah, I wanted to really join something more meaningful. I've been working on incubation and acceleration for the past 3 years. I've been in this space since 2017. But in Base, what I found very fascinating was that it's going to be more than this. We are working heavily on the Base app. Base app is a super app, as mentioned already. So it includes a social media. It includes a part for mini apps, which are going to be kind of the main streamline and the main app store of Web3. We are targeting what I call normal people, but sorry, I don't mean people in this room are not normal people. I mean Web2 people, I mean retail. We want to make Web3 really accessible, really understandable, and really simple for everyone to come and use. So on the mini apps, at the moment, we have a lot of games. We have a lot of social-related applications. We have a lot of creator empowerment and tipping platforms. And on the other hand, we have this element of social media. Obviously, we are targeting a lot of creators. By creators, I don't mean crypto bros. I mean a lot of travel bloggers, a lot of beauty bloggers, a lot of normal creators that can come and create on Base and earn from the first second. So I think when you join Zora or when you join Base app and you just post your content and from the first second you see that you are earning in the embedded wallet that you have, that is the, that is the aha moment that you're like, why was I just giving my content away to all these traditional social media without earning anything, without owning it, and like, now I'm owning it, and now I can earn from the first second. So we are targeting a lot of micro-influencers all around the world, and creators are one side of it. These mini apps are very powerful because we get the distribution through the mini apps, but then we send those people that are the users of the consumers of the content to the mini apps to also be more engaged on Web3. The beauty of Base app is that you can onboard, like I personally onboarded my dad, and you can really onboard your families, and they wouldn't feel like they are on Web3. And that is really huge. I think for me, myself, sometimes I remember like last year when I tried more for the first time, I was like, it's interesting, but I'm not understanding it. So it's the case for many of the big parts of our industry. What Base app is changing is exactly this part. Everything is very simple. So I told you about the creator part. I told you about the mini app part. We are also empowering builders because builders should come and build these mini apps. And on the other hand, investors who will put capital and liquidity into the mini apps or applications that are being built on Base. So we have this ecosystem of 4 different players, and all together they come on the Base app. Base app is gathering everything together. We also have a private messaging, fully Web3 messaging platform on the Base app. I know that Base app is now on beta, so probably some of you haven't tried it yet. Can I also get another round of question? Who has tried Base app? Who is onboarded so far? Okay. So I would love to invite more of you guys. I have a few invite codes, so if you would like to try it out, let me know. I can send you some invite codes, and I would love to hear your feedback. So yes, the messaging, the mini apps, the social media, and also the functionalities of wallet. The embedded smart wallet that we have on the Base app will make it very easy to do transfers and basically do everything just from one application. So that is the focus that we have on the Base app. But in addition to that, we also know that mini apps are, there are mini apps. The more serious game happens on other dApps, even sometimes outside of the mini app infrastructure. And we are empowering a lot of builders to come and build on Base. So all I wanted to say was, what am I going to do in Middle East and MENA? The first reason I thought about getting this role was that I was running an accelerator before this, and I was always bullish on the distribution that Base has. Coinbase has 160 million verified users. This is not a type of distribution or adoption that you see in Web3 space usually. And we all know that all these hundreds of millions of users will eventually be onboarded to Base. And I don't know about you, I want to be a part of it because I think this is the real shit. And in addition to that, nobody was here from Base or also from any teams that are related to Base, and that accessibility was not there. I was asking my portfolio companies, why don't you move on Base? Because they have distribution. And always the answer was like, there is no one here from Base. They are very US focused, accessing them is very difficult, and we are here to solve this. At the moment, I have ambassadors in Morocco, Egypt, Iraq. Also, I told you Pakistan is recently added, Lebanon. So we are covering the whole region because we want to, first of all, solve this issue of accessibility. The second thing is awareness. You guys are now in this room. I told you about Base app, but I really don't know how much you had heard about it before. So one side of it is awareness, but the most important thing is supporting the builders. I think Base has something that is very unique, which is the distribution, which is the community. And we also have access to capital, and we would like to invest these resources to the builders, that really are talented and can add value to the Base ecosystem. So on that side, I'm also leading the startups for Base growth team, which means all the global initiatives that we have to turn the projects into working startups, into revenue generating businesses. I want projects from UAE and MENA to be Coinbase listed businesses. We don't want them to stay in just being a mini app. So what we are doing is, at the moment we have Base patches open. If you are building anything, you can come and build on Base, or if you are just thinking about starting to build on Base, we have 2 tracks. One track is for startup track. 40 projects will come with us to Argentina. We will have a demo day during DevConnect, which I'm super excited about. And then we also have the builder track. On the builder track, the projects, if you are deciding to start building on Base and getting into this community, you can apply through that track, and the projects will not only be rewarded and will get a prize, obviously, but also they will go through Incubase. Incubase is our incubator. We had one version of it before, but this new version is going to be very different. It's one-to-one mentorships, fundraising support, lots of introductions, lots of perks and credits, obviously, and everything that the projects need, but most importantly, distribution and user acquisition. We are working with a lot of influencers all around the world to give the projects visibility. So I highly recommend apply to Base patches. If you think you wouldn't make it till the end of, till 24th of October, apply for Incubase later. And hopefully we will have something really big next year during Token. I don't know if you follow Jesse and Base team on X, but I already got the promise from Jesse that he will be here for our demo day. And this means that Coinbase Ventures and all of our ecosystem VCs will also be here for the demo day next year. And I'm now trying to find the right talents that will be on that stage. So yeah, so happy to see you all. If you have any questions about Base, if you want to join, if you want to explore, my Telegram ID is very straightforward, Asal, A-S-A-L, _Base. Drop me a text and let's have a chat.
Thank you. So from OpenxAI side, we excited to work with Blaze. Those who are looking for like compute infrastructure, we also having a resource fund up to like $100,000 if you want to build base mini apps, if you want to leverage those compute, because if you're hosting a service, you have to pay for compute. So we have that to our community as well. Like she said, like to me, the base, it kind of like an iPhone moment, because I've been in the space since 2015. I was part of a building L1 chain called Phantom, so way before Solana. I mean, the core utility of a L1 or L2 chain is a consensus as a service. But that was what we believed. We thought, you know, let's build a specific agnostic chain and people will come and people will build on top. But what I've seen over the years is not just having a great decentralized network. You got to have a lot of resources need to be involved, like community has to be there, has to have a lot of capital, have to have some existing products. Even though I'm a Web3, sometimes I take a lot of inspiration from Web 2, because like if you're using electricity, if you have to think about the circuit breakers, or if you want to access Wi-Fi, imagine if you have to think about wireless router, then you're doing a very, very bad UX. What we are seeing in Base ecosystem, Base is actually understood the user base, because compared to like 2017 user base to 2025 and 2024 is a very, very vastly different audience. What we see with Base, they really understood the audience and have a great UX, combining the L2 kind of a faster blockchain and leveraging Ethereum security. To us, that's why we chose Base, because we were looking at, okay, should we build on Sui? Should we build on Ethereum? Should we build on Solana? For us, is like the most important thing is the Base, like the builder energy, because we are builders, right? So we've been building for quite some time. So, and what I see, somehow the Base kind of nailed the idea that in order to have sustainable, not just building a minimal viable ecosystem, because this is what most blockchains actually done it in the past, maybe 8-10 years. But Base nailed it because they understood the users, understood how to bring a user into the ecosystem, having great technologies, use case, network effect, support, community, etc. So we are very excited to work with Base. I think, to me, like I said, is a kind of an iPhone moment, because we had the evolution of Web3 ecosystems, especially like chains, and comparing all the chains to Base, it's like a huge jump. That's how I feel with the Base app, Base chain, Coinbase, and also the lot of ecosystems that are working together. So I think for those who want to build things and interact and work together, so we are here probably for a month or two. We'll be moving to US soon, but as long as we are here in this region, come to us. This is DAO's Hub is our home. We have a physical location here, so we'd love you to come and interact with us. So thank you very much for coming and participating in this event. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for everything that you mentioned. That was a good comment coming from a builder. Thank you. If you don't mind, I should.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
Sorry about it, and thank you everyone again.
So we can have questions. I think, Greta, you got online questions? Thank you. So we can have, obviously we won't be able to ask any questions from Base, but any questions if you guys have for OpenxAI and Mini App Factory, happy to answer any questions. So we have questions coming from our Twitter. So let's prioritize to the audience. Can someone hand over a mic, or if you can raise your hand, we'll pass a mic and you can ask questions. Mike.
I can speak pretty loud. Yeah, okay. So I have a very stupid question, actually. Consider myself as a degen. what's the real case? Like I see a lot of, in crypto especially, a lot of builders build something for other builders, that they will build something for next builders, and just what the real usage of everything we saw today. And thank you for the presentation. It was actually awesome that it really worked and built and stuff. I'm as a software developer myself for 14 years. Was like, I mean, finally somebody's taking my job. But yeah, like, can you explain with like real world examples how can people like you and I can benefit from what we saw today? Thank you.
So launching an AI company in 5 minutes. You don't need a bank account. You can launch today in 5 minutes and you can get paid. You don't need credit cards. That's the best use case.
All right, thank you. Short and clear.
I mean, I can go more, I would say, the platform agnostic use cases. The biggest use case, like I said, like over 2.8 billion people are kind of excluded in the AI space. I didn't have time to go over everything, but we have what we managed to do. We managed to build an aggregator. We call it like a Google search for GPUs. So imagine you, similar like a hotel industry, imagine you have an API from every hotel in the world. You can talk to the hotel in it through an API. You can actually ping and say, what's the price for the hotel? So what we have, we build that technology for most of the data centers around the world. So you can ping that and you can fetch the price. So you as a user, what you want the cheapest and the most reliable compute, because compute is everything right now. Like if you want to build something, you want to build anything, all the way from Netflix to Google Cloud to 90% of what we use today or more is use cloud. So imagine you can actually get that cloud, you can scan real time and it can get the cheapest. Similar like a booking.com provides you cheapest hotel. We have this protocol. That's number one. Let's call it the price discovery. Second is the smart contract layer, which we built on Base. You don't need to have a traditional railways, no bank accounts, no companies, no SaaS integrations. So you can cut down the time. Because imagine if you want to start a company in Dubai, as an example, imagine how to get a bank account. So it thinks it's easy, but I've tested. It's very difficult. It might take a couple of months to launch it.
I know.
So then you want to go from 0 to 1. You have a paid customers. Is ready to pay you, but then they cannot pay you. You have to wait for 6 months to get your bank account. So that acceleration of going from 0 to 1 is a really big use case for us. So that's second. The third thing is like integrating like Base Mini App Factory to the Base ecosystem. What we see, because Base, the mission for Base is to accelerate Web3, right? They want to bring 100 million plus additional users to Base ecosystem. But today, a lot of people in the ecosystem, especially Gen Z, they don't have time. They just want to build something quick and want to test it. So that rapid iteration is what we have as a Base Mini App Factory. So if you want to test something quick, build it and share it. And because of the integration between OpenxAI and Base, you can distribute that. So one-click deployment. You build your app by chatting, deploy directly to the Base ecosystem. So these are the three great use cases that we enable.
Yeah, thank you. And just quick follow-up question here. Sorry for taking everybody's time, but you said that users will be able to pay directly without a bank account. Like, but how they will pay? With crypto, or they will be able to pay with like Stripe or Link or whatever?
No Stripe, unfortunately. We only accept like users can pay directly in crypto. So let's say Sam is the builder. He built an AI service running running on a decentralized cloud. You discover that. So let's say sam.com. You found it. You see the application. Sam decided how much you're going to charge from you, and you basically connect your wallet, and you pay directly to Sam. So there's no credit card payments, there's no banks, there's no like a fee going to be taken out. The only fee you have to pay is the gas fee for the network. Since we use Base, fees are tiny. And one important thing, something that we think is going to be a very crucial thing is called the micropayments. So you pay a subscription, like for example, ChatGPT, $20 a month. You might be using once, twice, whatever it is. What we can enable, like Sam can say, okay, I'm going to charge you, instead of like a monthly flat fee, I'm going to charge you how much compute that you use and how much AI you used. And then imagine you use for like 2 days, your cost is $0.005 as an example. We can accept that because it's a base. So we can have a micropayments. So you can pay Sam directly USDC, USDT, any tokens, right? Any tokens. Wrap BTC if you want to pay. If Sam can accept that, if Sam wants to accept in a whatever format, he can choose that on the back end. So which is, I think it's amazing. We haven't, personally, I haven't seen anything like this, and I think it's a quite revolutionary.
Thank you.
All right, I guess since no one has questions in the crowd.
That's one question there.
One? Who?
Thanks, guys, for this presentation. It was a very big pleasure to see it online. So now with us, like 1,000 people, so we could say hello to them, because it's our first digital AMA session at DAO's Hub, and it's just MVP, as usual. But I have a question now about OpenxAI, because it's interesting. Maybe you can share some insights about next big moves for the OpenxAI, like next quarter. What are you going to do next?
I will keep it for the end of the month. We're going to have a big event, same space. But high level, now we did the good integration with Base. The next milestone will be copy-paste the same thing with BNB ecosystem, because we see a specific audience in the BNB ecosystem. So we are aiming in month of November to focus on BNB ecosystem. So you can tokenize using BNB chain, and then you can use something called a Dabbay, which is kind of an app store in the BNB ecosystem. So our goal here to go with Base because it's builders, and then BNB more like a retail. We'll find a lot of retail usage on our OpenxAI platform and the network. And then we will be considering another chain, maybe Solana. So the cool thing about the cross-chain ability, so Sam can, let's say Sam a builder, and Sam thinks his users, most of the users will be in Solana ecosystem. So he can launch his AI service on Solana ecosystem, which means users are directly interacting with the Solana native chain and its Solana native primitives or infrastructure. And then for Sam, he doesn't trust Solana as an example, and he wants to get paid in Ethereum network, or he wants to keep the, let's say, intellectual property of his AI service on Ethereum network because he trusts Ethereum network. So you can do that. So the idea of the cross-chain functionality don't exist today. We will be enabling. And I can spill something else quickly. We are experimenting launching AI agents on Bitcoin network. Maybe end of November. We might be able to give you some updates on that. But yeah, so it's going to be a cross-chain AI service deployment. So the idea here is replace all the traditional infrastructure, which I personally hate, banks, governments, all of the middlemen. So you can go completely borderless. So the chain, multi-chain AI deployments, multi-chain AI services are, I think, is the future. Thank you.
Hello, thank you so much for the demo. Do you have crypto recurrent payments? Because as you know, like for the apps, it's one of the most popular revenue model. Yeah.
Yeah, so on the back end, so when you go to our Xnode studio, so let's say Sam has a builder, and when he wants to get paid, he can configure whether it's a one-off payment or is a recurring payment. So what happens, so he set that up, for example, now he built it, so, and you access the service, so you connect your wallet. So then on the back end is track how many days you have consumed. So let's assume he is going to keep it very simple. He's going to say, you have to pay every 30 days, right? So you now subscribe day one. After 30 days, the smart contract is checking your subscription. And then if you agree to pay him, it's going to automatically take from your, you have to put some liquidity as an escrow, so it can take automatically, or you have to manually pay. So it may not be great user experience like SaaS, like taking a credit card payment, but if you give the ownership of taking the funds out of your wallet.
My question was about that. Do you have such system that I can connect my wallet, agreed on your price and pay each month, but without any request from your side?
Yeah, possible.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sam, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, of course, with any kind of payment, you have to give permission first. So you can either put a cap or you can approve unlimited spending up to your risk tolerance. Of course, we're using trustless smart contracts. So there's nothing we or anyone can do to change the content of these contracts. As well as now we see with smart accounts, where we see more standardized frameworks for this recurring payments. As you said, it's a popular monetization strategy. So we'll see that the space is also evolving to adapt this. But currently these standards are still being worked on. Of course, the blockchain space moves incredibly fast. We do have solutions for this, multiple solutions even, which is currently the phase we're in, where there's not one standardized solution, but there's multiple options we can offer you.
Do we have time for the last question?
Yeah, go for it.
Can you explain me, both Sam or Ashton, whoever, can you explain me how can you achieve the 90% reduction in price that you promised from AWS and other cloud providers?
So this is kind of I call it when you become a monopoly, you set the price. Like in 2018, we ran most of our infrastructure Phantom on AWS. When we received the AWS bill, we are asking, okay, can you give more details about the bill? And there's a section there say proprietary, which means you know what that means. So when you're a monopoly, if you're the largest pizza shop supply or the pizza shop chain in a city, they control the price. So if you look at the difference between like a retail cloud compute like AWS relative to like a bare metal compute, there's a huge difference. So what we managed to do, we managed to look for like I said, the aggregator, so we can aggregate the price real time. That obviously has a gap, usually like 70 to 80%. And what we do, we optimize even further using our Nix OS. These are very, very light software because it's not just a hardware, finding the cheapest compute. Often is also like what you're running on it. So if you're running a very light infrastructure applications like what we have, so you can also further optimize. So we get 70 to 80% cheaper compute, and we're using our software, we even further optimize for like a 9 to 92%. So it's if people see the difference between AWS, Google, Microsoft cloud price, because you are paying premium for your convenience, right? Because They have something called load balancers. They've got a lot of convenience tools. However, as a user, you don't need to utilize all of that. You're basically paying Jeff Bezos the next big yacht. You know, that's how it is.
And just to clarify on that, like these big three providers Ashton mentioned, they are of course the go-to industry standard, and they know that. They have a huge vendor lock-in. They use their proprietary software, so it's not easy to migrate to other data centers, which we see a huge arbitrage already between these biggest three data centers compared to smaller, cheaper data centers. Usually these smaller data centers, they are more limited in terms of user interfaces, user experience, which is what we are tackling by having this unified experience on whatever compute you're running. So instead of this lock-in, you could migrate your machine to whoever offers you the best price without being hurt by any of the interface or architectural differences that comes with this cheaper device.
The other thing, all these other data center providers, similar like a hotel industry, if they don't have enough, let's say, demand, the price goes even further. So the difference between AWS versus a bare metal data center provider, you have 30 to 40% difference sometimes. But if they don't have enough demand, or if they have enough servers they're sitting and doing nothing, they also reduce the price. So we do have a commercial agreements from like large data centers like High Velocity, Volta, and we obviously negotiated a price, but at the same time, they also have unused compute in their network, in their data center. What we do is we can utilize it. When you have a visibility, like a search engine for looking at the most GPUs or CPUs pricing real time, you can actually see which is cheaper and which is not cheaper. So I think we give that price discovery to the end user, so the end users always can find the most affordable compute.
Follow-on question. So my application will be deployed on bare metal, on cloud. Where it will be deployed?
So right now we give you, when you deploy your application, you can choose your infrastructure. You completely own your infrastructure. The entire software that required, we call a virtualization, having store your backend, everything managed by OpenxAI software stack, which also attached to your wallet. So you can choose the bare metal and build your entire service from scratch. I think that's the evolution is going on right now. If you look at the latest hardware, NVIDIA, they announced something called a mini AI PC. So now kind of like people are going backwards. Instead of having a cloud, you own your infrastructure, you own your own data.
Thank you.
Hi, we have some online questions from the members watching us on our socials. So we have, first question comes from X, Nose2312. The question is, how will the mini app factory help onboard the next million users on chain? Not just builders, but everyday creators who have never touched code before.
So I think the main goal of Base is this accessibility. So anyone can use the Base app. And we are tying into this with the accessibility from a no-code platform. So in this case, how we are helping onboard these users is we are essentially removing the technical barrier to entry to create these mini apps. So anyone who has an idea, like any creator who has any kind of following the forecaster feed, as long as you have a mini app vision, you can just type it, explain it to the AI, and he will build it for you. If there's anything you don't like, you just tell it, and then it will make the relevant changes.
Okay, we have a next question coming from bloke. And the question is, what makes OpenxAI different from other projects?
Well, we are. How do you answer that? So, a high level, it's a peer-to-peer AI network. That's the main differentiator. If you're thinking of more like a base mini app factory level, which is application level, like Sam mentioned, there's no other platform today that you can build a base mini app and you own the mini app itself. There are like a couple of other platforms like Orion, but there's more like a SaaS platforms. But in our case, we let the user own the whole infrastructure. You can have the full ownership of the base mini app. Do you want to add something, Sam?
Yeah, I agree. Like our main differentiator is this focused on zero trust. So whenever people ask me like why would people care? The main, like other solutions they provide, the main difference is that even we don't want the power to be able to change your app, because of course I trust myself, but I wouldn't want that permission. I wouldn't want that risk to be involved, that OpenxAI has any kind of control over whatever you're building, which is why we really focus into the core of what you also see with Web3, well, not your keys, not your crypto. We tie ownership and authentication directly to your wallet, so you don't have this middleman, essentially. Even in Web3, we often see this is the case, where they have some kind of trusted or centralized servers, but we instead try to do everything trustlessly.
Okay, next question, also from X, coming from Eloism. And the question is, how does the chat to build process actually work? Can a user really just type a simple prompt, like build a staking app with a leaderboard and get a fully functional mini app?
So you saw from the demo, you are able to chat and that's it, and you get a functioning app. This is currently the beta stage. So for example, smart contract integration is not part of this version. It is something on our roadmap to explore how we can integrate with smart contracts, either with standardized contracts, like for example, token contracts and payments. And we also want to experiment with how well the LLM is able to generate smart contracts. Currently, we are not comfortable to leave this responsibility to the LLM because, of course, smart contracts are a very crucial, vulnerable port from a security point of view. So we want to ensure that whatever it spits out is completely safe before we include this in our mini app factory.
Next question is from Crypto Bold Guy. And he is saying, this is huge, great news. Great event. Will it be possible to monetize your mini apps?
Yes, this is already what Ashton talked about. So we're using OpenxAI technologies, which means we can use this cross-chain payment service where you can pay directly in any token to the creator based on their business model. So either you can monetize your apps, as in you can sell the full app to someone else, or you can monetize them with either a pay-as-you-go kind of subscription charging or a monthly fee.
One more thing, we launched the beta, which means towards the end of the month, we're going to enable something called a deploy to earn. So imagine you deploy an app, you're eligible to actually, since we have an on-chain record of what you built, we're going to enable something called a deploy to earn. So people will be, like for us, it's going to be a great way to airdrop our tokens and some of the resources to builders. So we're looking at launching that feature towards the end of the month. So people can deploy it and they can basically earn tokens out of their deployments as an incentive program.
All right, next question is coming from Zeus. With the rise of on-chain AI agents, how do you see OpenxAI balancing autonomy and security for user-driven apps?
To the users. Same like if you're interacting with Bitcoin or Ethereum network, if you made a mistake of sending your assets to a wrong wallet, Ethereum Foundation or anybody who's building Ethereum around the Ethereum ecosystem cannot do anything. So we have the same kind of a design. We give the full responsibility, full autonomy to the users. So ultimately, user control everything. User make mistakes, then we cannot do anything about it. That's the design principle of the network.
And another question from Zeus. My second question is, in the context of the Base ecosystem, what unique advantages does OpenxAI bring to enhance developer and user experience?
So we are positioning ourselves with Base as an AI infrastructure layer for Base. Like, in order for you to build AI-specific services, agents, apps like Base Mini Factory, and also we have our own native Base app store. So those direct integration allow you to build Base apps, Base leveraging Base smart contracts, ERC standards to build like very, very simple to sophisticated services all in one place. So I think what we are providing is a full stack infrastructure, on-chain pipeline, on-chain SaaS, application layer services all into the Base ecosystem. Since we are only integrating with Base right now, people can leverage all of those full stack capabilities.
We have a question from Telegram from Melik, and his question is, will investors' income source be limited to buying nodes, or will they be able to earn income by holding OpenX tokens, and can we unstake whenever we want after staking?
We don't have a staking function yet, but we will have some of the staking capabilities in the coming weeks. I cannot speak to anything to do with the investments, but the utility of a token is to similar like how when you use Ethereum network and you pay an Ethereum network gas fee. So we have those same kind of a design. You can use OpenxAI token to pay for compute. We have some other really great initiatives and breakthroughs going to be launching towards the end of the month. It's called tGPUs. So yeah, there are really great use cases that we are working on at the moment.
And we have one last question from Telegram coming from Eloy. As we enable instant app creation through chat, how do we ensure the resulting mini apps are truly useful and high quality rather than just generating a volume of simple, repetitive applications?
So as we are trying to be a permissionless network, we cannot ensure this because we don't prevent access to anyone to create whatever they want. If users want to create the same mini app that someone else already created, they are free to do so. And we don't put any kind of restrictions about the content they create.
Same way, if you want to be a great YouTuber, it's up to you. You could create like a crappy content no one will watch, or do something really good. We provide the capabilities. It's up to the builder or the creator to decide how represent their solution to the world. Because we are a platform, right? So we're not going to go and try to tell them how to build it.
All right, that's it from the online questions. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. We'll be hanging around if you guys want to have a chat one-on-one. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.